Welcome back to Caffeine Confessionals. My name is Allan Aguirre, and today we are doing our challenge season 41 Vets and New Threats cast preview part 2. We published part 1 on Tuesday where we covered all the veterans. When we originally filmed that podcast, we thought it was gonna be one episode, just all together. But then we recorded it and it came out to over 2 hours. So we split it up into two episodes, veterans and rookies. So you're about to see us just jump right into covering the rookies. We talked a lot about what we expect for the season at the beginning of the original podcast because, again, as I said before, we didn't think it would be a two-part podcast, but here it is. Go back to the first podcast if you want to listen to our thoughts on just the format of the game. But overall, we're going to be talking right about the rookie cast for season 41, and we're going to jump into it right now, immediately. Time for the new threats, baby. Time for the new threats. Here's our names. Jeremy Hinkle, The Amazing Race. Will Gagnon, Are You the One 9? Justin Hensley, Cheer. Cedric Hodges, Big Brother. Leo Dinocio, Love Island. Ben Davis, Boxer. Gabe Wai, WWE, NXT. Jake Cornish, Love Island, UK. Sydney Segal, Survivor, Dee Valladares, Survivor. America Lopez, Big Brother. Blue Kim, Big Brother. Ioleka Leka Soldade, Ultimate Challenge Canada. Izzy Faithhorn, Too Hot to Handle. Adrienne and Taylor, Married at First Sight. And Taylor Tate Wilcoxon from BB Australia. Wilcoxon, I've never seen that.
I know a lot of people with that last name in the US, actually.
Oh,
Okay, I'm ready. I'm actually really ready.
okay, Luke. This is your day, baby. This is
I've done my research. First up is Jeremy, okay? Jeremy and his twin brother, not twin brother, like 2 years difference, were on Amazing Race. They did somewhat well. They were both in talks to be cast on the season, but they ultimately just went with Jeremy, which I'd really like when there's a sibling. Like, I know this isn't Bloodlines, but like they were both on reality TV. That could have been fun. He seems like he's athletic. I think there's a former military background. Um, that's about all I care about. Amazing Race, I don't watch. I will watch the BB Amazing Race season because there's some challenge-esque people and recent BB players. But I think that he is going to do just fine.
we have recurring guest Kylan Young on the next Amazing Race,
Hmm.
partnered with Taylor Hales, longtime friends or whatever they are. Jeremy, his body looks ridiculous. Like he looked like there was someone posted a thing like, "Here's how I lost weight over like 5 years," and it was just a drawing of like a hand drawn thing of a really just jacked man, and someone just replied, "This is a drawing." That's how I felt looking at Jeremy's actual body because he's just so sculpted. I don't know how he's a real person.
Yeah, he's in great shape. Um, I'm just going to go rapid fire. Is that okay?
Yeah, I do have like some notes on some of these people, but we got let's go to it.
Okay, Will from Are You the One? 9, which was on Paramount, so you've probably not watched it. He was a good personality on there. I will absolutely give him that. Um, the unfortunate thing is, if you take just a gander at his Instagram, he is very much he's the one who's pro-military, or not pro-military, pre-military. He might still be active, like maybe reserves. I don't know. But like he is wearing a cowboy hat and he's got his guitar and he's singing a song pretty poorly, but like it's going fairly well. I fear he's going to be good friends with Bananas or bitter rivals because he's kind of taken his zhuzh a little bit. But I am happy to see an Are You the One name, even if it is the Paramount version. There are still so many MTV Are You the One people who should have debuted, but we'll take what we can get.
So, okay, let's say, would you say he gives Hunter vibes? Do you think there's
Completely. Yes.
we've been needing a new Hunter since Hunter's been gone. That's just a fun exercise too. What are some Mario the One names that never debuted on the show that like you would have loved to see? And I think we're gonna start with Shanley, obviously.
Please. I was not even going to say because I don't want to be obnoxious, but yes, Shanley. But if you look at the cast for 6 and 7, like take your pick at any of the men realistically, and they should have debuted. There is no sense that we got some of these random people. Like I get the Survivor and Big Brother names. Those will draw in a bigger crowd, if any crowd, I guess. But like we had so many international people who were unknowns. where the MTV fan base did watch Are You the One because they were casting for the challenge from it, and those people just got left to the side. Nerys has several friends in LA who have been on X on the Beach or Are You the One who would make great additions to the show, and it would make it a little bit spicy where there are some previous connections. But I
I
don't
would
know.
argue also the entire cast, almost the entire cast of season 8.
Yeah. There were some duds in there that I wouldn't want to see, but there were also like the women on that season for sure. Well, a lot of the men too.
Well, there's the girl on that season who now is on every Netflix show.
The
Carousel.
carousel.
Yeah, Carousel, yeah.
And she's still in the challenge comments sometimes, like, put me on. I'm like, put
I
her
just saw
on.
her on something else the other day too.
She
Yeah.
popped the balloon she was on. Yeah.
Yes. My friends were telling me just about that. I'm surprised we never saw that Kareem guy on the
Who was one of
challenge.
Neresa's best friends.
Yeah, that
Kenya.
Keith
Kenya.
Clawbacher, whatever his name was, like he had the physical build of a challenger too.
I went to college with Keith.
I believe that.
He and he worked at a bar called Champs, and I remember I walked in with some of my friends who also worked there. Slight tangent, and my friend Zach knew I watched Are You the One. He's like, "Hey, my friend Keith is on the next season." I'm like, "No, you're not." So I took a picture of him, like literally serving me my drink, and then sure enough, the next season came on, and I was like, "This is Keith, the bartender at Champs." He would have been a
Um,
good addition, but I think he's married with children now, and we
Malcolm.
have plenty of men like that. Malcolm, yep.
Do you guys remember from Mario 5, Tyranny, I think her name was?
She's
Um,
still good friends with Cam.
okay, but here's the thing. She was originally supposed to be on 31, I believe. And Alicia said, I will not do the season if she's there. And they loved Alicia so much because they put her on, she's supposed to be on 30. They put her on X on the Beach. They loved Alicia. And so they dropped Tyranny. And I believe it was like Cam was up in the air, but like that very much cemented Cam's spot on the cast. And I think
Mhm.
like Alicia, in a way, gave us Cam on the challenge. Like that is
Well, she did because if Alicia hadn't done what she did in Are You the One, like Cam's couple just would have been done. But like we can give her some credit there. I'm happy to do that.
so okay, now next guy is Justin.
Yep, famously in my Twitter responses, I've not watched his show. I That's not like T. He's not gonna be upset by that either. Like he's loving his like little newfound challenge fandom fame, and that's not shady at all. Like he's genuinely like, hey, I like it. So I hope he tweets throughout the season. I have not watched that show. I don't know much about him. I think he was honestly just on like 5 or 6 episodes of like an older season, but he is younger. He will bring something different than I think what we're used to, and for that I'm very excited.
Yeah, Zoe, did you watch Cheer?
No.
Okay, so there were two seasons. Um, and I think that like this is a really good show to take from because there was a lot of personalities that like they built up these fandoms, and stuff like that. So there's going to be some people invested in Justin and like who if anyone that they would get from these schools. Um, and I think having a guy who comes from like a national cheerleading background is a really interesting athletic profile to add to the show. Because is he the biggest? No, but there's probably some stuff that like coordination wise that he'll do really well in for this show. Now, again, puzzles matter a lot, but in terms of like mobility and stuff like that, he's a really interesting character to add to this cast.
I'm about it. Bring on the male cheerleaders.
Also, bring on female cheerleaders too. That would also be just like in terms of like we're talking about competitive like cheer, and they're from like I believe it's like a small area of Texas too, where they're probably like drinking in the field and stuff like that. So it's also the college they're from. It's like the best community college cheer team that wins like the national title. So it's not like a university. It's these people who come in for 2 years. They come from a little bit rougher backgrounds. It's a good school to pull from, you know. If anything, I would say the community college field is probably the best way to bring in challengers.
I'm with it. And through my research, there are some women who've appeared on that show who have large fan bases to this day. And I think they should tap into that if Justin finds success.
Yeah. The problem is some of those people are probably making good money though, and Justin, probably didn't have as good advertisement deals, and that's why we can afford him.
Fair.
Yeah, MTV needs to improve their pay structure because There's so many of these people that lose money by going on the show if they are basically hustling.
Yeah. Um, Next up is I'm so happy about this casting. Cedric from Big Brother. I love Cedric. Him and Anissa share the same birthday, but 22 years apart. Anissa could be his mother. He just like, I love people who get on a show and like it actually like they want it so badly. Like he was not on Big Brother, like wanting to get like brand deals. And sure, it's probably in the back of the head if you go on Big Brother, this might happen. But like he really wanted to win. He was so let down when people like betrayed him. And I mean, it's a sign of his age, like not really understanding, like I'm on TV. But I think he is so good to have on the season. I think, bless you, I think there are young people who like need to infiltrate this. I think he was 22 when the season started, and he's just a genuinely a good character. But if they partner him with Anise or Anissa, I will be devastated if that's what it is, partners, because like let him have somebody good, please.
Who on this cast of rookies do you think deserves to be partnered with Anissa?
Ben Davis, who we'll get to later.
Okay, okay. Is Cedric athletic at all? Because he
He
seemed pretty
is.
thin from what I saw.
I
He's
think that he is athletic. I mean, I think he's just like small, like even just age-based small. But I think he's got a lot of heart. Um, that's all I got.
okay, okay. What about this Leo Dinocio guy?
I don't know if that's actually his last name. It could be. I love Leo. On Love Island, season six, no, season five, he was just messy, 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 messy. He's willing to hook up and he's messy. And let me just draw the line there. If we're casting men, let them be young, let them be attractive, let them be messy, and let them hook up.
Yeah.
So I'm very
You,
down for it.
Here, here.
every time you say a name, I'm looking them up.
I love that, Luke. That's what I want in a rookie. And again, the youth is I think what's important. I saw a graphic of the ages of all the cast members,
Hmm.
and luckily, all the new threats are all younger than everyone on the vet cast, which doesn't sound like a crazy thing, but we had seasons like recently where like we bring in Jenny as a rookie, and she's like 30s.
34.
Yeah, yeah.
At the time of at the
Olivia.
time of filming, nobody was in their 30s. None of
Mhm.
them, like the rookies. So that's a win.
That's what we want.
Well, I was when we were talking about Are You the One, I was looking at all the former Are You the One cast ages, and they were all like 22 to 26 at the most. And then Are You the One season 9, average age was back up to like 29, 30 years old. And I was like, what are we doing?
And Are You the Nine, not to go backwards, but it was so horrific because it was an international season. You can't realistically expect to find love when you're from America and the person you're pursuing is from Scotland. Like, it just fell flat in so many different ways. Um, I don't know.
As someone that loves reality TV and sometimes like still hasn't accepted the fact that I'll never be on it, um, I can say in my rational brain, can we cast the 22-year-olds, please? Like,
Hmm.
that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
I shake my head so much at those people who are like, I'm 35, but you can still find a spot for me. It's like, no, your time has passed. It's come up. Like I know I'm not pitching in the MLB anymore. It's not happening. I'm not going to be on reality TV. I'm not doing that. Like, but you'll catch
There's
me watching still. I can still put up a sick Pac-Man score. Like that's really what I'm capable of. Just this past Saturday. Yeah,
there's like something also just kind of like sad about watching 30 somethings be like messy and deranged and unhinged. Like I can easily accept that with 22-year-olds, but when you're 35 and you're like you seem like you're suffering from some kind of psychotic break on reality TV, like pack it up.
Yeah,
and it is
fair.
such the easiest takedown of someone and actually it's like you're 35. It really does. It just really sits you down real anytime like you just feel old like that, it's like it sits you down real fast. And some people say that's ageist, but sometimes ageist is just right.
Please let that be the little clip you cut out and put on Twitter.
That's going on Twitter.
Okay. let's talk about Luke's favorite character, Ben Davis. Some people have no idea how this person even got on the show because it's like who is this guy?
So here's my problem. He posted like something on Twitter today or yesterday that was like, here's how I got cast, but he like specifically cut out things. He was in Thailand boxing. He ran into some person, he cut the name out and like said he was interested, whatever. Like, what a pipe dream, cool. No, you have to know somebody because it's not like I go out to Challenge Mania San Diego or Challenge Mania Charlotte and say, I'd love to go on the show, and somebody's putting a good word for me and I'm getting a random call. Hey, you go for runs occasionally. You must be an athlete. Like, no, that's not happening. We've complained about some of the international people having shows that are so hard to find. There's not going to even be a clip we could find of him that could showcase his personality. I think he has a podcast, and if that's enough to get on a show, then like the door's open. I'm
We'll
sure he's going to be great, and I like some of his takes that he's put on Twitter thus far. But like, that's not enough for you to be cast on the challenge. I'm sorry.
I, I'd say like if Luke was on this cast, I'd be hyping him up. Like, well, you know what? He was a pretty good runner in high school. He's put some good mile times. Like, put him in that final. If he gets there, he's a threat. It's kind of like this Ben Davis thing, but I got more to go on with you than Ben Davis. Um, he is also very online on Twitter. I think I've seen him in my replies. Um, but like it's one of those things where I kind of call it like a little bit of like Corey Lay syndrome. Him and I think Justin, where it's like they start replying and interacting to a lot of people with their like new fandom, and the fans, because they're getting interactions from these cast members, they want to hype them up a little bit before even seeing what they do. I think Corey's been overall a positive cast member, but compared to some of the expectations and what some of the things they believe they've done, it doesn't quite live up to it. And fans got to be careful who they stand before they've seen them actually on TV.
I agree, and then also Sansa disagree. I love standing somebody just because, but you're right. They're standing them because they're in their responses. It's like, get a grip, get a grip. Like I have people from Spazas and Allies that still DM me to this day.
Uh,
That doesn't mean that I stand them.
no, yeah. I get so annoyed when it's like some people are like, "Oh, I did this, I did that, I did that." Like, no, I watched the show, and like, if what you did not shake the table enough to make the edit, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, now next guy is Gabe Wai, and I guess I'll talk about this one as our professional wrestling expert. He's gigantic. He's like 6'5", but he didn't really have a long run in the WWE.
But he
Was
played rugby.
He did play rugby. That did actually inspire me. I Rugby athletes are built differently. They're wired differently. A lot crazier in a good way. I do worry though because he's 6'5" and massive, and like the WWE style training where you're trying to bulk up to do these like very like lifting up like 300 pounds over your head type stuff. It's not conducive to what the challenge is about of like having that more cardio build, that more CrossFit, energy. So I don't think he's gonna do that well because I think he might be too big.
He's cute. I'm rooting for him. He has a cute little smile.
This is not a spoiler. Maybe it is, but it's not. I remember reading something about him and really liked what I read while the season was filming. I cannot remember what it was, so I guess I'll be surprised again. But there was a picture that was put out of him like recently with America, who we're going to talk about later, and he like towers over her. So I'm excited for him. Like I do think the height might be a disadvantage, but who knows? I love a wild card where I'm like, I just truly don't know.
Keep him around. Keep him coming back. Put him in a head tag with Fessy. Humble Fessy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just Fessy's interesting too because like he's big too, but Fessy's like so coordinated as an athlete, and like he's a wrestler, but it's like just like when Fessy was coming onto the challenge, he was slimming down from his football days. This guy
Right.
was bulking up towards being a wrestler, and it's just such a different training style of like, these people are downing steaks and eggs and just trying to like, put on mass.
Super side note. Did you watch Still No to Island season two?
Of course,
Who is the girl? Starts with an L. Who is like WWE like training esque? Letty
get her on the show. Get her on
needs
the
to be on
fucking
the
show.
challenge. Okay, like I've never been like so convinced watching that, and I don't watch wrestling. Like I just don't have the interest. But she was good personality. She was in shape. She was young. Like if he finds success on this, like maybe contact her. She's got some name recognition from that, but also Donato Allen. So I'm maybe on board with the wrestlers. We got a bad taste with Leo Rush. He had some stuff going on. I won't fault him for that, but it made me think never again. But maybe Gabe can change my mind.
And Leo was actually pretty notable because he was actually he held a belt in WWE less than 9 months before he got cast in the challenge. But he was kind
Mhm.
of known in the challenge in the wrestling universe as a flake, as a guy who retired multiple times because he just was always going through some shit. But Letty and Gabe, they never really got very high into the company. They never actually even really made it onto TV.
Right.
But Letty was great, great person, great athleticism, personality. She just carried herself like a reality star. Deal or No Island, I try to talk to people about Deal or No Deal Island all the time, just off scuff, because I just know everyone has seen Deal or No Deal. So I'm like, you'd really love this new show.
So good. Okay, our last guy, Jake Cornish from Love Island. He's been on Love Island twice. Both times he quit the show. So, will his third reality TV appearance result in him quitting? I hope not. Unless they bring in like a different rookie man if he quits. But other than that, like typical British Love Island star. I say star with an asterisk.
Isn't Love Island UK like known for being completely unhinged?
Yes, but in recent years has kind of fallen off a little bit. I mean, it's still very much watched there, but it used to be watched like worldwide. I think the US version has kind of taken over that. Um, but yes, a lot of people have been very unhinged on there. I don't know if like, I know the first time he was on, he lasted a pretty long time before he quit. And the second time was All Stars, and he quit like day one. He was like, this isn't for me. But you're not going to respect that, but also like, you know what you're getting into. So again, perhaps a wild card.
He comes from a MMA boxing background too, I believe, from what I could see. Like he had this
Mm,
thing. At first I saw his body and I was like, he's kind of giving me the Rogan, what was the guy from season 39, James or whatever,
right. Yeah.
that UK build where they're like muscular, but they're not really like they can't do a
Popcorn
lick of,
muscle.
yeah, they can't do a lick of cardio. But then I saw he had,
Yes.
the MMA background and that made me a little bit more, intrigued because, that's where it requires a lot of just, making weight. So people are just on exercise bikes and treadmills trying to like literally just get to the certain weight they need to be to compete. Hopefully he doesn't quit. Hopefully he's not what's the guy from Survivor who quits every time?
Uh, uh, sorry, Colin. What was his name? It was a C. You're right.
Is it
Colton. Yeah.
okay, cool. I thought it was
You
Colton
probably said
too.
that. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. Vermonters don't pronounce their T's very well, so that's probably on me.
My dad's name is Colin, so like it just popped in my head too. So okay, women. Yes.
Yeah, women.
Let's do it.
Okay,
They
let's start with Sydney. And I want to be brief with this. I despise Sydney. I did not enjoy her on Survivor for different reasons. I think that right now she should. This is so multifaceted, my feelings about her. She is being unhinged on social media, but not just about the show. I understand like her acknowledging her ethnicity, but she almost encourages and makes light of active genocide. And for that, I don't want her on my TV at all. And like you might say, like that friend that's too woke, this is reality TV. I don't care. Let's not give a platform to someone who has literally made jokes about women and children being bombed and killed on the sake of you acknowledging your ethnicity. That's literally all I'm gonna say about her.
I do not co-sign any of that. I mean, I don't co I co-sign I don't co-sign her doing any of that. But the second she got cast for the show, I did tweet out that's my winner's pick. Um, and the reason being is that she is a former collegiate track star, went to UCLA, has a law degree, and I'm like, okay, so she has the cardio to run a final. She's in super duper good shape, and she can probably solve any of the puzzles or math that's thrown her way at what this show has become. And like, look, I've seen Cara Maria's a beast, but like I've seen Cara Maria lose a bunch of finals, so I'm not really afraid of Cara Maria. Like Michaela is really the only person I think that's like a bigger threat than Sydney on the show, just based on pure talent and athleticism.
She could be, but I really would not give her any more credit.
Yeah, and she's egotistical, confrontational. She's a lot. If it wasn't for that other stuff, she would be checking a lot of the boxes of what we want in Challenger.
Absolutely.
Someone else who I think is a really big threat to win, actually, from the female side. We got Dee Valladares, who won Survivor. I don't know the number of the season anymore.
45, I believe.
45. And I think it's one of the best wins in Survivor history. I rank it in the top 10. She's beautiful, she's smart, she's strategic, she's athletic, she's a little bit messy outside of Survivor. She's fantastic and she carries herself like a champion. Like the stuff she was doing on Survivor was just so impressive of like just these little Tony Vlasic type side tricks where she's just like manipulating people on the side, had people at her on, at her hip, manipulating Austin and the other nerd, she was so good.
She dominated that, and I think she's a wonderful casting choice. I do know that she was training with Josh Martinez before this, like maybe he gave her some messy tips. I know she's friendly with bananas, so I'm a little worried about that. But she had such a great social game on Survivor. She pretty much ran that game, and the few votes she did not, she recovered quickly and made up laws on the spot to get back in good graces. She used a man, like, you know, and this is not a spoiler because it's been announced by CBS. She literally filmed this show, and CBS got her on the Challenge 50. They view her as someone they want to have on the Challenge 50, and it doesn't matter that you just did another show on a different network. Like, we want you. So I think she's going to be great. I could see her winning the entire thing if given the right male partner. Or it could be individual. I truly don't know how the final goes.
A worry I did have though the moment she got cast is that she is known, and it was like a plot line on Survivor. She has these really long toes. And with knowing Johnny Bananas and knowing that they're both living in Florida together, I'm so terrified we're gonna get so much more feet content this season after last season's absolutely like disgusting foot extravaganza.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I hate that as well.
You want to go into the next person?
America Lopez, who, okay, I think a great casting choice just considering like recency and like she does have a pretty large online following because her and her boyfriend Corey, who is also on her season, like they do a lot. I don't think she's athletic at all. Like, and it's not a like hit her. She's a beautiful girl, but here's what I think she can do: be messy, have some wine, and be really messy. And honestly, that's all I need. We're going to talk about somebody later, right after this, actually, Blue. Her and Blue did have some contention on that show, so I think that is really smart to have them both on here. I'll talk more with Blue about something else, but I am worried though that America is going to get like bullied, and I don't like the word around. So like maybe that's not the word I mean, but like they're going to really get in her head. I think she's going to care a lot about what these vets think of her.
Uh, I really liked her on Big Brother. I mean, I'll be straight up. I had a little bit of crush on her on Big Brother. And also just seeing also there's a Latina on Big Brother. I was like, oh, right, I'm gonna stand immediately because that's just how I operate. Um, but I do worry, like you said, Luke, like she went 0 for 16 in every Big Brother competition. She did not win anything going against some not athletic and not that smart people. So it's like, how are you gonna do in this challenge field when you're going up against the Michaelas and Karas, and then you got Dee and Sydney who are both athletic and smart too, and it's gonna be hard to compete on this show. But she does carry a fandom behind her. Like there she has fans, and that matters for like this show that we want to not die.
Yeah, you're right. Even if you don't like America, and there are a lot of people who don't, I think if people can acknowledge that she brings that, it makes sense.
And yeah, a lot of people, her and her boyfriend have both a lot of fans and a lot of haters, and that'll carry views to the show in a way.
I feel like they're going to do a lot of social media stuff too as it airs. Specifically, Corey, her boyfriend, who I'm not a big fan of, but
that's going to be so tough because like Big Brother, you have the feeds, obviously. They're going to be trying to take over every week, like, oh, here's what actually happened. But like at a certain point, you saying what actually like happened, again, if it doesn't make the edit, if you didn't make enough noise or impact on the show for it to make the edit, then that's the show. That's what the show
Right.
is at a certain point. Like you can't like
Yeah.
I cannot obsess over a theoretical season.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think perfect segue on your list is to Blue. Okay. And Blue is a fun personality. If you think, is she athletic? No. I do think she won a couple veto competitions. I could be wrong. Don't care enough to look. But here's where I think this casting as a whole, a ball was dropped, and it's not with Blue. That Blue's ex from that show was supposed to be on the men's side and tweeted the day of, like, I got dropped. But her ex is Sari Field's son. Like, Jared on this cast, I think would have been perfect because he was messy. He couldn't keep a secret on Big Brother. He was a little bit like, oh, my mom has to tell me what to do. Like, yeah, let's see that in action and see what you do. Couple with your ex who wants nothing to do with you in this house. Couple with America who does not like you or your mom. Like, let's see that. But
Then
they
we got
dropped him from the
the
cast.
British boxer.
Hmm.
They get paid to put that other guy on the cast. That's the only thing that can make it make sense to me.
Probably.
He's financing the show. Um, he's the reason they're able to afford Dee. He's paying Dee's salary for this season because, like, I don't know why Dee's on this show. Like, considering, like, because she's one survivor and she probably could do whatever. So if she's on an actual rookie contract, I don't believe she is. I think whatever she's getting paid more than everyone else. Because
Yeah, I could see it.
um, Jared not being here sucks. I love Blue Kim because she's just like she's probably down to hook up. She's fun and she's young and like additionally, like she's someone I probably would have went to high school with and would be friends with now. Like from my
Hmm.
area, Southern California, like I know a lot of people just like Blue Kim, and so it's like, hey, that's like not representation for me, but like representation for people I know. It's like cool to see them on the challenge in reality TV.
Yeah, that's so true. Next up is Lekka from The Ultimate Challenge, which is actually a Canadian show, but she lives in Atlanta. I think she might just have like dual citizenship or like maybe was cast on the show. I did go back and watch clips because like she stood out as somebody who I thought, oh, she can win the show. I think she can win the show. And in those clips, she was messy. She got in conflict with people. She stood her ground. So I'm really excited to see Lekka. And I was really happy to hear too that she was actually an American.
He's like fit. I'm just looking
Mhm.
at her Instagram and like she has quads and she's
Former
tall.
former collegiate basketball player too. And like, if you're a tall woman on this show, it really does go a long way. Like, no one wants to see you in elimination. And if you're competing alongside a man and you're the same height as the man, some of these challenges where you got to balance laying together, it comes in handy. It's why like Laurel is such a good partner with so many of these men. It's why Nani is a good partner too, because like Nani is taller than people realize. You know, she's like 5'7", 5'8". So it's like Nani can balance out with other men pretty well.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
will say out of these vet or not vet rookie women, her and Dee like are definitely my number ones. The ones after her, I don't know.
Mhm.
Izzy, did you watch Too Hot to Handle 3? I think that's when I fell off the show.
It's I watched season one and two. Did not watch three. I did not even go back to watch clips of her because I know what type of person they cast on that show. So she's young, she's attractive, she's gonna drink, she's gonna hook up maybe. I'll take it. I just don't know her well enough to make a decision,
She's
which is
20.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
some somewhere around watching the second season of Too Hot to Handle, I was like, you know what? I realized I don't watch reality TV to not watch people hook up. That's just like it was like I thought the concept was funny at first, and then I'm like, no, this is I hate this.
Well, I'm also like, you can't make it 15 days without hooking up with somebody to win a large amount of money. Okay, like
But it
get
also
out of my
like
face.
wasn't even a large amount of money by the end either. It was like
Because only
12.
one
Yeah,
person got it. Yeah, it was.
yeah, and even then, it wasn't that much. It was preposterous. Just a
Yeah.
preposterous show.
Okay, next is Adrienne Naylor, who, if there's any rookie I'm gonna deep dive on, it's her. And that's gonna seem crazy, but truly her casting made me so mad because I'm like, what role does she serve on this show? Until I started digging into her, I kind of like her. She has a funny personality. I feel like she's had kind of a rough life. Like just watching her TikToks, I'm like, oh my God, look, this poor girl. She's had an insane like weight loss journey where like I don't know if you like know the specific, but she lost a lot of weight and like really actively like tries to maintain that, but is honest on social media about like the struggles and like letting herself live. I'm excited to see what she does.
I support that fully. I mean, that's, you know what, I'm fully sold, Luke. I mean, that's completely relatable for me. I'm at 198 right now. I'm going back to California on Friday. I don't have any intention of returning anything under 210 for 3 days. I'm going to be eating everything in sight though. In those 3 days, I'm back home. I'm going to all my favorite places. I like this girl now. Also, I think to be on Married at First Sight, like to like find yourself in that position in your life, you kind of have to have had some trauma and some shit go on.
I mean, yeah, this is true. So excited for her. It brings us to our last girl, Taylor Wilcoxon, who won Big Brother Australia, which cool, I guess. It was a partner season, and from what I've heard from people who watched it, her sister, who she won with, was far more interesting. She's a pretty girl.
Why would you not cast the two sets of siblings then?
Don't know, really
Right?
don't. Jeremy and his brother, and her sister. It would make sense. And from what I can tell, they're both all like single and young. So
She is very hot. Like she is of the cast members I've seen on the show. Like it is pretty next level stuff. I almost can't even imagine her competing almost because she's just like she looks like she should be on a runway almost from the photos I saw.
it reminds me of Jin Lee, who I think was also like a very stunning, like petite woman. And it was like when it was time for her to actually compete for her one episode, it was like, oh no, they're going to break her in half. But who knows?
That elimination with Jenny was so fucking funny.
Ugh, too much.
Um,
Jen Lee was a true one of one though. Like I don't know if we're ever gonna see a casting like that quite. I mean, we might with that person you're talking about, but like she made an impact. Like people will not forget her.
I still reference her and use her like video in response to stuff like greetings, Earthlings. Like she was strange. But okay, after talking about this cast, I mean, there's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but something about the unknown, but still having like some bits and pieces I'm excited about. Um, Truly, the people who spoil the season did not do much with the spoiling for this season. They're just kind of over the show, which is fine because I think I'm going to be more invested in the show because of this. Um, the door's open, like it is for the past like 12 seasons we've covered, but
What's the worst outcome for this season?
I think the worst outcome is Aviv winning for sure. Because like if a rookie woman wins, even if like she's like outlandish, it's like, whoa, how did that happen? I think Aviv, who was already a champ, like if she weren't a champ, I'd be like, yeah, like go get your win. Aviv winning would suck. Because like even if Naya or Anissa won, it would be like, wow, okay, cool, like you did this. And then for the men, I dare I say, Bananas winning would really like be not good for me. It would be good for the. It wouldn't even be good for the show.
I'd
I'm
say
gonna say
bananas.
Bananas.
I'd say bananas and CT. Either of those two winning again. Like again, we don't get another male champion, especially after we just had Jordan win again, and then it's we had some pretty lackluster male winners lately
Right.
who have.
Yeah. Okay, so Zoe, who's your bottom two winning? Like,
um,
just not what you expect, but what would be the worst for you?
Aviv for sure, and Anissa. Like, but I can't. I'm not gonna say Anissa because like it's just not gonna happen. Um,
Yeah.
so like I don't even actually have to worry about that. Um,
Zoe's like, I don't need to buy volcano insurance. I live in Nebraska. Like, like that's just never gonna happen. There's just no world.
yeah, that's. I just can't even imagine the montage I'd have to sit through, but it's not gonna happen. So, um, I think Bananas is terrible. I think Derek Kaczynski, but again, also it's not happening. I don't have to like worry about that.
Okay, so what would be the top outcome? And you might think that mine's gonna be horrible. You're gonna be like, oh my God, if we're past this. It would be Ashley, sure, but like let's take that out of the equation. I still think that if Nani and Leroy could pull out a win together on the same season, I would never invite them back again.
That's
Ever.
so generous of you, Luke.
I know.
Uh,
Um,
my ideal winner is Aviv gets injured, is replaced with Nerys, and Nerys wins.
I was gonna say Michaela winning, and then on the male side, we're gonna say that Bananas gets injured. They bring in Kylan, and Kylan wins. That was my idea because I'm like, we need a good, strong male champion that's new.
While we were sitting there talking about all those other women, like the rookie women, I was like, you know who else we could have brought back? Zara.
yeah.
There's just there were options.
Can I
But
can I tell you guys something I do? Like it's like really kind of like embarrassing.
Yeah, please.
sure.
I run every day, and it gets boring when you're out there for like 4 or 5 miles. And I don't run that fast, so I'm out there for a while. Um, when I'm out there, I imagine challenge seasons. Like I'll build a cast in my head, and then I'll run the season in my head, so I don't have to think about running. And recently, I've been doing this cast from like, okay, who are the 15 best men challengers and 15 best women challengers on there? And Zara was on that cast. And I'm like, oh yeah, and then Zara wins this daily challenge. She beats everyone in a swim, she beats everyone in a run. And I love Zara, and I'm glad Zoe loves Zara too, because like that's just a random name to throw out there.
I will ease your embarrassment with that because I similarly run every single day and I don't run with music or anything. Like it's just me and my thoughts. Uh, when Spies, Lies, and Allies was filming and they were still in teams and it was rumored that they were going to like be team winners and Corey, Nelson, Ashley, and Amanda were all still in the game, I like manifested on these runs. Like what would be like crazy, like should have been checked into a mental hospital. But I'm like, if these four won a season together, my life would be complete. I don't think I'd ever watch a challenge season again. I would say this was it. I needed this. And then, of course, Corey was eliminated. And then Ashley was sent home. And then Amanda was eliminated. And then Nelson did not win the final
And
because he was eliminated.
he's also the worst case scenario out of those four to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at that point, oops, sorry. At that point in time, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like during 2021, I was like, okay, yeah, like this would be cool. But yeah, we've got a month until the little teaser episode comes out. I don't know when they're gonna start like legitimate promo, but hopefully soon.
What's the actual date? Do we know the date?
July 30th is
July.
the first episode. Episode 0 is July 23rd.
So make sure to tune in for then. We'll be recapping the season as always. You know, I think that the season's going to be better than season 40. I'm confident this season is going to be better than season 40. I'm willing to stat my flag right there.
Check back in at episode 15. We're at.
Yeah. And can someone like just like hear our pleas to just not drag it out? Like just keep people getting eliminated and move forward at a healthy pace so that people don't get fatigued watching the show.
All we can ask for. It's all we can ask for. And I say this as we're recording. This is going to be one podcast. It's going to be a two-part podcast. I'm going to find a way to edit it in the middle, and I'm going to put it together. Because
Yeah.
I thought we'd be done with this so fast, and every time I underestimate how long we talk in these previews. I mean, it's why we do separate male and female previews. I just realized that too in the past. Like this is why. But you know what? It's because we love the show and we love all of you listening. Have a great weekend, everyone, and challenge season 41 is upon us.